Hello everyone, I am Nagaveli Prasad working in TSWR Center of Excellence, Karimnagar. Before starting this session, I want to ask you a question. My dear students, after inhalation, air enters into lungs. Now tell me how oxygen is transported from lungs to tissues and how carbon dioxide is transported from tissues to lungs. Yes, you are right, with the help of blood. So that we can conclude that blood is a medium for transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide in our body. So my dear students, in this session I am going to tell you the transport of oxygen with the help of blood. Transport of oxygen by the blood. So 100 milliliter of blood, oxygenated blood, carries 4 milliliter of oxygen under normal condition. So, blood carries oxygen with the help of two modes. One is through plasma. About 3% of oxygen is carried by the plasma and 97% of oxygen carried by red blood cells. My dear students, oxygen dissolves in water, right? Plasma has water in a larger quantity, so that the oxygen dissolves in plasma quickly. 3% of dissolved state oxygen is transported through the plasma. And the second one, red blood cells. My dear students, RBC has a respiratory pigment, a protein called hemoglobin. Each hemoglobin can bind with 4 oxygen molecules to form oxyhemoglobin. This process is known as oxygenation of hemoglobin. My dear students, hemoglobin binds with oxygen at alveolar level and dissociate with oxygen at a tissue level. Now here interesting thing is, it is a reversible process. To bind with oxygen, hemoglobin to bind with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin at alveolar level, here partial pressure of oxygen should be high and partial pressure of carbon dioxide should be less. So these are the conditions helps in the formation of oxyhemoglobin at alveolar level. Whereas exact opposite condition creates in the tissue level, so that hemoglobin and oxygen will dissociate and oxygen will be utilized to the tissues. So to break down it, to dissociate it into hemoglobin and oxygen, so what happens? Partial pressure of carbon dioxide is more in the tissues and partial pressure of oxygen is less in the tissues, so that it will be dissociated and will be utilized by the tissue. So this is regarding transport of oxygen by the blood. Do alpha and beta chains of hemoglobin carry the same amount of oxygen per chain?